What's up everybody, it's KelseeBrianaJai here with a video on the new Huda Beauty Obsessions eyeshadow palettes. And there are 4 eyeshadow palettes that she just released, and look at these little bitty things. Like, they're so cute, miniature and little. I picked up all 4 to do a review for you guys. I bought these from Sephora during the sale, so I did get 20% off of each one, but they retail for $27. And there are 4. There's the Warm Brown Obsessions, the Electric Obsessions, the Mauve Obsessions, and the Smokey Obsessions. So each of the palettes does have a theme, and you're able to create complete looks using the palettes. These palettes are pretty small. They're sold individually and not together. And in each palette there's 9 eyeshadows, and in each pan there's 0.05 ounces of products, or 1.3 grams of products. And the description on Sephora's website says that this is a range of compact eyeshadow palettes expertly curated by Huda herself, offering beauty lovers a complete day to night eye color wardrobe. Each Huda Beauty Obsessions eyeshadow palette is packed with a selection of 9 highly pigmented mattes and striking shimmers, all with a smooth and blendable texture, available in 4 color schemes. The palettes are super compact and lightweight, making them a must-have for your handbag. The large mirror, conveniently sized palette and versatile shade collection allow you to create both classic and playful looks that are easy to apply on the go. So Huda also said these are really condensed eyeshadow palettes, but you get so much product. I'm obsessed with the Warm Brown and Smoky palettes. They're both full of the most gorgeous buildable colors that take your look from day to night easily. The Mauve Obsessions palette is the makeup essential that everyone needs to create everyday looks with a sultry edge. The Electric palette features super bold colors that are still really wearable, so you can create amazing understated looks. I really wanted to give people the option to have fun with as many colors as possible without having to invest in individual shades. It was all about giving color junkies everything they need in a compact way. So in comparison to the Desert Dusk palette, here's the size of the new Obsessions palette. So like super small. The same thing with the Rose Gold palette. And so these palettes are also different because, as you guys know, Huda likes to put her face on her products. She didn't do this with these products. These all have the colors of the eyeshadows on the front. So I found that very interesting. Normally she would put like an eye, or she would put her face, but this, she switched it up. On the website, it doesn't say that these are limited editions, so I'm under the impression that these are permanent. I like the different color schemes that they have. Also, the packaging is that cardboard. She's really a big fan of that type packaging. And then there's a little mirror in here, so if you're taking this for travel, this will be a good little compact way to do a quick eye. I'll show you the inside of each. So this one is the Warm Brown Obsessions, and this palette is majority matte eyeshadows. There's 1 shimmer eyeshadow. This is the palette that has the least amount of shimmer eyeshadows of any of them, and this one has like the different warm tones. Out of all of the palettes, I don't like this one the most because, number 1, I have a lot of colors like this one, and number 2, I feel like this one was a little bit patchier than the rest of them. I did a look with this eyeshadow palette and I feel like I made it work, but this one had a lot of fallout and the colors weren't as saturated as the other eyeshadow palettes. I don't feel like the quality is consistent across the 4 palettes. I don't totally dislike the palette. I definitely think it's workable. I think it's cute. I like the colors in here. However, if I'm looking for that really full pigmented eyeshadow look, this is not going to give it to me. You'll have to spend a little bit of time building it up, and you'll definitely have to use some type of primer. Here is the Smokey Obsessions, and this one is my favorite. So this one is majority shimmer eyeshadows, and I prefer the shimmer eyeshadows in the palettes as opposed to the matte eyeshadows. But I have this one on my lid now, and I feel like this one is super high quality. The eyeshadows in here are very pigmented, very blendable. I did get a little bit of fallout, but you can just dust it off. Make sure you tap off your brush really well. But I really like these eyeshadows in here. I like the colors. I like that the shimmers look really metallic, and I like that you can build an entire smoky eye. If you don't want to put black in your very smoky eye. She has the dark chocolate in here, and I really like this eyeshadow palette. It's definitely my favorite one out of the 4. Here is the Mauve Obsessions, and I think that this one is really pretty, very romantic and girly. It is a pink base and like reddish base eyeshadow palette. I can create a cohesive look with this eyeshadow palette. It has something to set my eyeshadow primer, transition colors, lid colors, outer crease colors. This one is really pretty. It's more so pink tone, so I'm not the biggest fan of pink. On my complexion, it completely looks pink and not mauve, but the pigmentation is really nice. The eyeshadows are really blendable. I did get fallout with this one as well as the other ones, but I think that the colors in here are really pretty, and I think it's worth it because you can just dust it right off. And then lastly, we have the Electric Obsessions. It is so hard to say Electric Obsessions. Like you have to stop your tongue. Electric. So I like this one a whole lot more than I thought I was going to. It's so pigmented, it's so bright, it's so vibrant, and you guys will see in the look that I do with it, I didn't put an additional base on when using it. It just was bright like that by itself. Most of the time when colors show up that vibrantly, you have to put like a white base underneath to make the colors pop, but these colors just pop. Like these are really smoothly pigmented, and I love the look that I did. And I'm obsessed with this blue color. I don't have a color like this in my whole entire collection. This will be a fun, inexpensive way for those of you guys who've been wanting to try color to do so. And you don't have to put these colors on your lids. You can use these as pops of color on your lower lash line. But this one has so many fun pops of colors, from the pinks to the yellow to this color down here, this magenta red lollipop type color, and all of them are really nice quality. So these eyeshadow palettes are made in China, and I do want to note that her regular eyeshadow palettes are made in Italy. So I don't think that the formulation of the eyeshadow palettes are the same. I do feel like there is a difference between her 2 bigger eyeshadow palettes and these 4 mini eyeshadow palettes. You guys know that these palettes are not inexpensive. This one is $65 and this one is somewhere in that same ballpark, over 50 bucks. These are $27 each. I think that these are really convenient, not necessarily the best quality, but I really do like them regardless. I think that these are nice, fun extensions of your makeup collection, especially if you don't have colors like this in your collection. But I don't necessarily feel like these are going to be essentials that I'll just be like, oh, I want to do my eye this way, let me reach for that. But I definitely think that over all of them, the Smokey Obsessions is the exception, because I do feel like this one is really good quality. The black in here was really black and pigmented, and everything blended out really well. The other 3, I think these are really fun, trendy eyeshadow palettes that you guys can use for the time being just to achieve a certain look. But I definitely prefer her larger eyeshadow palettes over these, but I do still like these as well. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into swatches of each of the eyeshadow palettes. That way you guys can see all of the colors. Honestly, some of them swatch a little bit better than others. I do feel like all of the eyeshadows that I worked with today worked really well and were really pigmented, with the exception of the warm brown eyeshadow palette, which I felt like that formula was a little bit drier. But then following that, I'm going to do a look with all of the eyeshadow palettes. Yes, my eyes are burning because I did 4 different looks on my eyes, 2 on each eye, and then I wiped it off and I did a totally different look. By the way, the look that I have on now is with the Smoky eyeshadow palette. That way you guys can get an idea of how these eyeshadows apply, because sometimes swatches really don't tell a story of how they actually work when you put them on your eyelid. So I wanted to help you guys out in that area. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into that, and I hope that you guys enjoy and find this video helpful. that you guys enjoyed the looks that I created with all of the palettes. They're like my little edited versions of mini tutorials. Let me know down in the comment section if you'll be picking some up. Also, let me know your opinions on Huda Beauty and Huda Beauty products. And if you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys in my very next video. Smooches. Bye.